Good morning, guys. This is Issues with Toddy One Skip. I am, and you are not. How you doing today? It's Sunday morning, 4:52 a.m., January 26, 2024. Guys, thank you for allowing me to be part of your day. A lot of you put me in your routine, and I love that. I'm probably at 2.0 speed, and I already think I talk pretty fast because I do appreciate your time, and I know the importance of time. So thank you again. Guys, let me just tell you, the power of YouTube, I didn't realize, and I had a channel a while ago. YouTube wasn't what it is today. I think that YouTube, for me, really exploded during the pandemic when everybody was like stuck at home. And I was on YouTube virtually traveling, traveling virtually, I should say, with people like Bald and Bankrupt and Harold Balder and Simon. And, and then I started finding other things. The thing that showed me the importance of true crime on YouTube was the Gabby Petito case, where it was YouTubers that spotted the van that later led to the finding of Gabby Petito. So, and what I found while I started paying more attention to YouTube and even becoming a content creator myself was that mainstream media doesn't spend time on the crimes. Rebecca Michello, perfect example. The news media wanted to plug her in and her daughter in. Her grandson was killed at the hands of his dad, and CPS or New Jersey, whatever it's called down there, had that going back and forth 100 times. Brianna Michello is complaining and saying her son is getting hurt, and they keep giving him back. And nobody seems to know about it or care about it, or they forget about it because it's in mainstream media for 5 minutes, because that's all they're going to give. And it's the YouTubers that dig deep into these crimes and ultimately, apparently, sometimes help solve them. Now it's become a lot more common. So when there is a content creator, especially in a true crime community, that is responsible for putting out information that should be true and just, and it's not retracted, but that person flip-flops, and yeah, I'm talking about April Johns, aka Fancy Maselli. The damage and the murk that she has caused for Nick Godejohn, and justice for Nick, and justice for Didi. She helped slander Didi's memory, Didi's legacy. She helped slander that. Guys, she got on mainstream media and went up and down about how bad Didi was as a mom to Gypsy, and how bad Nicholas was as a monster to Gypsy, and how poor little Gypsy was just a victim of everything, and the feeding tubes and all the surgeries. And April Johns was on mainstream media spewing all these lies, and she said she had all the information, the same information she has today, and she's saying something else. And what she says, April Johns, is, I found out some stuff and I had to pull away because the narrative wasn't the truth. No, you were fired by the other side, and you weren't needed anymore. You were fired by the Blanchards because you didn't fulfill what you promised them you could fulfill, because you were incapable of doing that. Your follow-through is not there. They finally saw through you. And I'm not saying they're good people, but they said you couldn't meet their credentials. And even Gypsy, when she sent you that email that said, I back away, there's nothing, you're useless to me, basically, is what, Gypsy said. That's about the only thing she's ever been right about, in my opinion. But she wasn't really useless to you because she bided you time, Gypsy. She bided you time. And she gave everybody a false narrative. And now we're fixing that. So she wasn't exactly useless to you. And now what, you're trying to get on side again? You can't see that people see you flip-flopping and say that, you know, you're just in the way. The sleeping policeman, the speed bump, that's what you are, in the way. So you need to get out of the way. Nobody needs your help with justice for Nick. There's a lot of content creators out here that are screaming for justice for Nick. I just found Lady Flo. Lady Flo. Big shout out to Lady Flo. Guys, check that channel out. It's a small little channel right now. It's going to blow up. She's got a lot of good information and she presents it real well with no bullshit, it seems. So, and she's got a lot of information about Nick as far as, you know, where to write the letters, just like I do. But check out her channel. You know what I love about these new channels coming up and going through these cases is they're going to find stuff that we missed. And you know what? I welcome that. I welcome fresh eyes. I think that that's why a lot of these cases are later solved. We're hearing more and more about how a YouTuber found this, how somebody online found that. Gabby Petito. That's it. That's enough to convince anybody, wow, we are worth something, but not with people like Fancy representing us, spewing out false narratives for money and then lying when she gets caught. That's a problem. That makes us look bad. That makes us not taken seriously. April Johns, you screamed the loudest. You had the most bullshit. You spewed the most bullshit, yet you had everything in your hands, you claimed. And in months, people went through it, dissected it, and made great productions about it. Becca Scoops, shout out! Becca Scoops, shout out! She did what you couldn't do. Don't get mad at the people that have follow through. Get mad at the person that doesn't and work on it. Guys, let's continue on because there's a lot more stuff. She said the most horrible things about Nick. And now she wants to go back and say, oh, Bobby, I'm sorry. I'm sorry what I did to your son. I'm sorry how I helped the public see your son as a fucking monster. And that side didn't work for me anymore. Let me jump on your side. Let me do it right. Fancy Maselli, April Johns, is in survival mode. And she is going to grab at anything she can so that she doesn't break her ass as she falls backwards. Somebody came up with an idea, and I think it's a great idea. The court wants letters from us. April Johns, why don't you make a phone call? Why don't you publicly make a video saying everything you did wrong that you noticed was wrong and how you helped with the narrative of what we're trying to fix with Dini now and the narrative of what you did to Nick. Infiltration group, you said there wasn't one?
I love each and every one of you, and I don't want to accuse any of you of anything. But I am going to repeat one last time. I do have a lawyer. I do have big people on this. And if you are fucking around with Natasha and you are giving her something, you will absolutely 100% be sued. Do you understand? I don't care if you're Tori. I will sue you. I don't care if you're Diana, Amanda, Diane, Lauren. Fuck, I don't care if you're Christy yourself. I will freaking sue the shit out of you. Do you guys understand? I love you guys. I appreciate every single one of you. But if there's anyone who has even remotely made a mistake, You need to fess the hell up right now. I don't think she has anything either. I think she's on a fishing expedition. However, if there is someone who has done something, oh my God, you guys are going to love this. So, you know, where Ken went into Michelle's group and posted that shit about me and everything. So Amy Lynn, who is one of the original moderators for Natasha that left and has been speaking out for me for a while now, she went in there and she defended me. And then, but that's not what is funny. She has decided that what she's going to do is she has posted so many discussion posts, like actual discussion posts, like what about the bus pass that people are claiming about? What about Nick's da-da-da? What about his father? Was he in his life? Each of these different ones over and over and over again. So basically what she is essentially doing is burying his post so far down the fucking line, no one will ever even see it. Like, how fucking hilarious is that shit? Okay, so this is the chat that has pretty much everybody who has access to the Nick infiltration and the Nick infiltration and the Nick infiltration. And if you didn't hear me in Team by Proxy, I'm going to tell you this right now. If anybody has talked about a drive, if anybody...
You said you didn't pay Dawn? You said all these little text messages were from 2019? Listen, you might be able to have people look this way or this way. I'm going to make sure they look this way. And once again, Fancy wants us to look that way and not pay attention to this way. So I'm going to show you this way. Those text messages, true, they came from 2019, but here's an email coming from 2025, just a couple days ago, to Bobby Godejohn. It was from Fancy, and Bobby went ahead and he forwarded it to somebody. I guess he wanted to show what was going on. So this is from Fancy, and this is what Fancy wrote to Bobby in January of 2025. And what month is it? January. What year? 2025. So again, Fancy wants you to look that way, but we're going to look this way because this is here, and this is only dated a few days ago. Bobby, I know you do not trust me. I know I hurt you all very much, but if there is ever a time to listen to me, this is it. Bree has been asked by Krusty to put out an anti-Nick video. It's going to be the emails he and Dawn exchanged. They want to make the Supreme Court see it as him being dangerous. I got a lot of things wrong, Bobby, being green when I started this, something I have worked on for years to remedy. I promised this year I would do anything I can to help Nick. They want to prove I sent that woman in, and we know that I did not. Guys, don't forget what I showed you. Don't forget about the emails between the two of them. Don't forget about that, okay? I'm going to show them again. Don't forget about the contract between them. But what does she say? They want to prove I sent that woman in, and we know I did not. Well, that's not true. Let me continue on with this bullshit letter. I believe that she was speaking to Gypsy and Christy, and they helped her write those emails to him to get him to respond just like he did. Well, we've already seen proof that she had somebody help him write those emails, somebody who was supposedly a psych person, but not really, but she claimed them to be. They wanted to release them before his appeal and wanted me to send them to the prosecutor, and I never did. I know. Well, it says I know, but it should say, I now see exactly what game they are playing. It took her 8 years, and she was playing it with them. Please let me help your son. If you have any communications with Dawn, etc., she's saying, if you have any communications with Dawn, etc., post them. All of them, and make a big splash with it, Bobby. Yeah, to take the distraction away from me and what I did to your son. Every step Krusty and Gypsy have used and abused your son and tried to screw up a fair trial. No, that'd be you, Fancy, and it was trial, not trail. Don't allow them to do it again if I can help at all. Please let me know. You can. Move out of the way, Fancy.
Hey guys, it's Fancy and you're watching the Good Wives Network, and I just got off a live where I have been informed that Bree,
she seems really nervous, y'all,
is about to put out an anti-Nick video, and she's going to try and prove that I somehow paid to send Dawn Boker in to talk with Nicholas.
Super great thanks to 1980 Millennial. Super great thanks to Into the Weeds podcast for the foyers that you couldn't read through for whatever reasons beyond me. And let's just dig deep into making April Johns move out of the way so that we can finally get justice for Nick and also let Dee Dee have some sort of legacy. And with people that truly care and aren't about just surviving and aren't about flipping sides back and forth. People that truly care.
My birthday, I proved that wasn't true by the timeline. But again, you know,
Tell me what you think in the comments. And there's more videos to come. I'm going live tonight with Into the Weeds podcast. It's Amber's birthday. Don't tell her I told you. Into the Weeds podcast, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Be better today than you were yesterday. Not half as good as you'll be tomorrow. Always be kind.